This is not a test. This is an emergency broadcast transmission.
We're going to stay on the air for as long as possible.
Are we gonna die?
I will never let that happen, Caleb. Do you hear me? Never.
Hi, Chuck.
Hey Rose, I just watched the trailer to Knowing and it looks really good. I'm excited to see it.
Oh, thank you.
But I don't know if I was given the opportunity that I would want to know the future. I don't know what it's like for you, but I live in this kind of world where I think I'll just stay in my house until somebody comes knocking on the door and tells me it's time to leave.
Yeah, I used to be kind of obsessed with psychics and all that sort of thing, and then I threw it all away. I don't want to know either. I think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy more than anything, so it's better to just let events unfold as they will.
Hey, how did you like playing a mom?
It was great. It was something I'd never done before, and I met with a single mother in Melbourne where we shot the movie because I, obviously didn't know anything about what it was like. So it was lovely. And the little girl who played my daughter was really lovely, little sweet thing, and we had some fun. And she kind of looks like me, so it was quite funny having this little person follow me around. Little mini me.
Do you have conversations with her? I mean, like, does she understand like who you are and what you do, or is she?
Yeah. No, she's very bright. She's a very bright little kid. She's 10, and I'm from Australia, so she knew my work from Australia and from overseas. So we had a really good time, and she did a great job with the accent, and she's going to come to New York for the opening night. And
you mentioned Australia, and you shot this movie in Australia. So being from Australia, did you have friends, family come and see your work?
Yeah, my sister and brother and brother-in-law came to set one day, and they met Nick, and they loved it. They were so, thrilled to be there and see how it all works. And they just sat there. It's actually quite boring. They just sit there.
I was going to say, I've been on a few sets. I'm thinking, what's going on in this set? Because I always seem like it's really boring.
It is boring because you can't talk. You got to sit there. You get a few free biscuits and things, but that's it.
I'm looking at this trailer and I'm thinking, this movie's action-packed. Is it a thriller? Is it a science fiction? I was trying to figure out, is there an actual genre that this movie fits in?
I guess I'd say it's a supernatural thriller if you're pressed. But then there's huge action sequences in it, and it's kind of really dramatic and tense story as well. So it's kind of cool. You can't put it into one genre, and I don't think many directors could pull it off. And Alex Proyas has done it with grace and style, and he's such a visual master, and of all of those genres. So it really found its perfect home with Alex Proyas.
How was it working with Alex?
Wonderful. I mean, I felt in safe hands, and you don't always have that. And I had worked with Danny Boyle before, and I felt the same kind of way. Like you just feel like you can trust them.
I'm so happy for Danny Boyle. It's like he suddenly, not at his I don't want to say 15 minutes because it's going to be much longer than that, but it's like now the world is finally recognizing him.
I know, and I mean, they have forever since, he came with Trainspotting and Shallow Grave, but obviously Slumdog's just been, has that magic sprinkle all over it, and it's, been so embraced over here. So it is wonderful, and he's a really nice person, so that's always good.
I don't like to know a lot about a movie, but I have, kind of forced at some point to talk about it. But did you get to partake in any of the action? I can't really figure out your character here.
Yeah, I play the daughter of the author of the numbers. So she was my mother, who has since passed away. So I'm kind of a reluctant participant with Nicholas trying to uncover this mystery, and we kind of, go on this sort of wild adventure together in the last half of the movie. And my action's pretty straightforward. Like, there's a bit of driving and running and stuff, but I didn't do any green screen. I didn't do anything like that. Most of my stuff's like the tense, dramatic kind of, scenes just between, Nicholas and I.
Now, Nicholas is kind of an intense actor, and he seems so intense in real life. So what was it like with him?
I mean, he's very serious about his work, but we also had a few laughs. Like, he has a very dry sense of humor, and I think being Australian, we kind of have that kind of sense of humor too. So we definitely had some laughs, and very much just about trying to make the movie as great as possible. So him and Alex had a great dialogue and had a real camaraderie, so that was lucky. And we did have fun, and obviously I was a big fan, so it's always interesting to see how somebody.
Well, being a
works.
big fan, I would imagine there's a lot of weight to that. But can you tell me about like maybe your first scene that you had to do with him? Were you nervous and?
Well, the first time was at rehearsal, and that's always nerve-wracking when you do like the first read around the table, and everybody doesn't know anybody, and it's a room full of strangers, and you're all showing up, and it's awkward, but it just takes time, and then by the end of the movie, you've broken down the barriers a bit and stuff. So it's just time, like with anybody.
Yeah. What did you learn anything from him? Did you sucking in any knowledge?
I think with anyone, from him or Glenn Close or Brad Pitt, I've worked with some huge actors, and they all just work really hard. They work really hard. They've come prepared. They've done their homework. They're not lazy, and they're really I think they all feel kind of lucky to be in their position, and they're all kind of cinema junkies or television junkies in that sense. So I take solace in that they work really hard to kind of gotten where they are.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Rose. I can't wait to see the film.
Thank you so much, Chuck.